Hello, and welcome to Greet the Week. I'm Mona Duncan, and it's Greet the Week is kind of looking about realizing that now, this instant, is the only time that we have at our disposal. And today, our topic is going to be on perspectives of time. So let me bring this up and see what we can. Okay, we're looking at perspectives of time. Perspectives on time. Time, I mean, here it is, April the 24th, April 2024, the 15th, and it seems like a new year. I'm not even remembering yet, having to think to put 2024. And it just seems like it just rolls on and goes by quicker. So anyway, here's just a few thoughts that Anita Knight says. Preparing for the worst makes us better able to handle anything less. And so, kind of goes hand in hand with the perspective on time. And Maya Angelou says, since time is the one immaterial object which we cannot influence, neither speed up nor slow down, we cannot add to it nor diminish it, it is an imponderably valuable gift. And to stop and think about that, about the gift of time, when we realize I don't have enough time, and yet time is all there is. Dr. Howard Hendricks says the secret of concentration is elimination. And it's kind of that the less stuff we have to look through, the more we can maybe concentrate on things that are essential. And then Naomi Judd suggests that this has been a while back, but anyway, suggests that we resign from being the general manager of the universe. And then here's just a perspective from Mona Duncan, that what gets scheduled gets done. And I find that to be very, very true. That if you just kind of stick it on the back burner and wait until another day, another time, it doesn't always happen. Okay, let me go back here. And what do I want to do? I want to, oh, well, I think it's not going to. Okay, so either you choose to control your own time. I'm looking at perspectives. These are some thoughts that I have about time. Either you choose to control your own time, or someone or something will control it for you. We may not even realize that it's happening. And so I think about the fish market that's in the state of Washington, and how in their book about the fish market, it says lives are made up of millions of choices. Some choices are made for you, but it is the choices you make that counts the most. And how really true that is whenever we stop and think about it, that the choices that we make. So the one who complains the most about the lack of time seems to be the one that mismanages it most. And I know that from personal experience of a couple of people that I interact with fairly frequently. And it seems like, I mean, I do care for them, I have a tender heart for them, but yet at the same time, it's mostly about complaining of what they can't do. And so I love this quote from Marilyn Vos Savant, who is credited with being the wisest woman in the world. Anyway, she said, I love having 10 times as much stuff to do as I can possibly find time to do. That way, I can pick the 1/10 that I want to do most. But if I only have enough to just occupy all my time, I'm stuck doing all of whatever stuff it happens to be. And I just really like that. If you can really pick something and then give all of your time and your attention and devotion to it, then don't worry about that other stuff because time will, in time, take care of itself as well as situations. So here's another perspective that I have been thinking about it over the years is that when I feel that time crunch, are you there? You ever feel that time crunch that you don't know what to do and when to do and where to do? Well, what I have begun to realize is that when I have that time crunch, that things are just barreling in on me, I begin to realize that just maybe my priorities in life are out of order. And so I begin to rethink and to reschedule and look at things a little differently. And I love this wise quote from the Talmud. Those who force time are pushed back by time. Those who yield to time find time on their side. And I find that to be very, very true. As I realize that that crunch is coming in, and maybe I'm just trying to do too much, and it is life in general telling me, it is the magic of life in general telling me to look at things in a little different way and allow time to be on your side. Also, in looking at, do you have time? Do you have time? Do you not have time? Being busy, 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 busy. I'm just so busy. Busyness does not mean that we're taking care of business. And so activity does not mean that we're being productive. And to really think about that, whenever we're just so busy, 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 it's time to stop and think. And here is a quote from Paul Marshall. Indeed, rest and work may involve similar activities done in a different spirit. The question is not about the activity itself, but about the orientation of our hearts. It's not about the activity itself. It's about what we're thinking. It's about what we're doing. It's about what we're regretting. It's about, and to realize that work and those things that we're doing, what kind of a spirit are we doing it in? Is it from our wisdom heart or is it from our ego mind? Is it from all the to-dos that's piling up? So, and then also looking at the fact that when you do not have time for a few minutes of relaxation, then that's when you need it the most. And to be gentle with yourself and to take care of yourself. And here's a quote from Don Schweitzer's. If you don't know the important, you become enslaved to the urgent. Going back to that busyness, or that's something that taking care of business, but it's not really taking care of business. It's being enslaved to the urgent. And then thinking about the pressures of the time crunch is a spiritual indication that we are eternal beings. We can get so burdened by what we need to do, want to do, must do, should have done, all that kind of stuff. And those time crunches, it's indicating that we are eternal beings and we can't do everything, that we have capabilities, but we're not as capable as sometimes we may think we are. So here's a quote from Dr. Ramesh Richard. We were not made for time. We were made for eternity. And even death in its intrusive horror merely functions as a transit point to our ultimate destination. I just find that really interesting. We were not made for time. We were made for eternity. And what it will be, well, I don't know. Where the information line all comes in through and so forth. But once we are in that eternal sleep, it's eternal. So here's another thought on time. The more in touch I am with the vastness of this universe, the more content I am to take care of needs in my little corner of the world. We moved to Texas in 1960, and shortly thereafter, my dad bought two uh, plots of land and built the house that we currently live in. My parents are both deceased and died anyway. When Garland and I got married in 1967, we moved into this. We bought this house from my siblings and moved in and have been here. And the more I'm in touch with the vastness of this universe and how things do change, I mean, we bought this, or my dad bought this land on the outskirts of town that's now practically in town. Because things change so much, it keeps encroaching in on you. And there was a time that I could see the sunrise so beautifully, as well as I could watch the sunset so beautifully on the other side. But now I can hardly see beyond the picket fences that's around here because, so the more I am in touch with the vastness of this universe, just going out and looking straight up into the skies and to realizing that even more people is coming here, it's still bringing in more things to know about life and the universe and everything. But the more content I am with my little corner of the world. And in keeping with that, I think about Mother Teresa. And Mother Teresa said, no, 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 my child. All of our work is like a drop of water in the ocean. But you know what? If we can find that drop of water in the ocean and be okay with it, if we're helping someone, some way, somehow, then that really does help us in the finding and the implementing and the of time. And looking at the fact that an ounce of pre-planning or organization is worth a pound of extension time. It's worth a pound of I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Because what gets scheduled gets done. And when we do that, and so my quote here on this is from the manufacturers, from the people who are the progenitors of the My Time that you can buy in all kinds of stores and for phones and everything else. And My Time says that for every minute you spend planning, you can save from 4 to 10 times that amount of time in execution. So instead of just, doing one thing at a time, look at what the project is, whether it's the recipe, write down all that it entails, and look at what you already have, or what do you need to go to the store to get? And then also, whether it's just any project that you have, make a list of write down what you need, what you do have, what you don't have, what your needs are, and have all of those things. You spend for every minute you spend planning, when it comes to the execution, you can take up to 4 to 10 times off of the time that you would waste in doing this, doing that, trying to find something that you need to take care of that project. So wind up here by looking at the fact of always making today count, not only today, but this minute, because this is the only time that we have at our disposal, that we have anything that we can actually make something out of it. And so go back to the wisdom of Benjamin Franklin. One today is worth 2 tomorrows, because this time is right now, what you can do something about. And so just a thought here on looking this at the end. You will never rise above your calendar, or at least it seems that way to me, that all the to-dos or all the want-to-dos, that becoming more accomplished by scheduling the task and outlining those initial steps takes the pressure off. Even that organizing does help take the pressure off. But what I'm asking you to do, and what I've asked me to do, is to take the pressure off by going for at least 80% completion. Because once you get to that 80%, it's like, oh yeah, the end's already there. There's been so much energy put into it that we could just keep on with this and it works out just fine. Well, I thank you for being here and many blessings to all.